as you guys have heard, that there was a manager for Boeing who was in the middle of his deposition against Boeing. And he had already testified a couple of times, and he was set to testify a couple more. And he went back to his hotel, and it reminded me of A Few Good Men. You guys ever see A Few Good Men?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's been a while, but yeah.
Yeah, so in A Few Good Men, you have Colonel Jessup, Jack Nicholson, and then his executive officer, Lieutenant Colonel Markinson, I think his name was. He knew the dirt on Jessup, and he was set to testify against Jessup, and he couldn't do it. And he went into his hotel room, he got dressed up in his dress blues and put a bullet in his mouth. And that's what it reminded me of, except that was a movie. And this is, I titled this live that this is the least suspicious death of all time. It's like, it's like, I have no proof that this was actually a murder, that this was an assassination. But man, how could you not think that? Like, I don't know how you could think otherwise. Like, the timeline just doesn't make any sense. Like, if you felt so bad about testifying against Boeing, a company who is putting the lives of thousands of people at risk, and you say, okay, I'm going to step up to the plate. I'm going to go testify and talk about all this bad shit, but I'm only going to do it halfway, and then I'm going to kill myself. I got to tell you, that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me. Like, it just, you're in for a penny, in for a pound. Why would you just, off yourself at the last minute? I haven't seen like the details from the coroner or whatever on the gunshot wounds. And of course, we're probably going to find that, he had 2 gunshot wounds to the back of the head and obvious suicide, and stuff like that. But it's darkly funny. It's horror. It's horrendous, but I do find it darkly funny. I'll toss it to you, Goofy Wise. What do you think about all this?
I think it's just funny how, God, I feel horrible saying funny, considering someone lost their life. But like, it's funny how the entire internet across the political spectrum, everybody agreed that this man did not kill himself. You know what I mean? Like, no matter who you ask, it's like, bro. Are you serious?
This guy may have killed himself less than Jeffrey Epstein.
Literally, I was just thinking that. I was like,
you talk to like the most radical communist, or you talk to the most fascist Nazi. We're all like, all right, we're simpatico on this one. Like,
we all agree. Fuck Boeing, goddammit. Yeah, so I think it's crazy that this happened, and it's also like it's crazy that they were able to get away with it, and like what happens now? Nothing happens now. Like, does the trial go on? Does anybody investigate? Was Boeing involved in this? Obviously, if they did, it probably wouldn't come up that way. You know what I mean? But it's like, when you have that much power and influence, like things like, I think offing someone are not like the hardest things to do in the world. You know what I mean? Especially when you're operating off a different judicial system. You know what I mean? It's totally different,
Well, that's the thing that blows my mind is like, if I'm Boeing, right? And I got this whistleblower, and I got to get rid of him. It's almost just insulting to kill him and like set up a suicide. Like it's insulting to me. Like, you have billions of dollars at your disposal.
Yeah,
you literally like control the airplanes in the sky. Just drop one on them. You know? Like so like do something that doesn't look so obviously like you assassinated him. Like, have him get hit by a truck or something. I don't care what
Get
it
a
is.
death
like,
note, goddammit. Like,
all of the money at your disposal. This is the way you do it. Like, come on.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost too obvious.
Allegedly,
allegedly, of course. Yeah, allegedly, of course. It's just, that's such a great point, because I got to tell you, if I were head of a multinational corporation, I had more money than God, I had all the power in the world to use at my disposal, I would be a fucking Bond villain. I would be doing like cartoonishly evil shit, and just like, oh yeah, we're gonna pretend it was a suicide in the car. Like, where's your imagination? This used to be a proper country. We used to have like actual villains, who would do wild and crazy shit.
Real villains. Bring back the robber barons, damn it.
Bring back the robber. Yes. Like, where's the tar and feathering? Like, where is this shit? It's wild. We got a comment here. I am waiting for some CCTV footage. There has to be a camera in or about the area of some degree. What hotel these days doesn't? That's a good point. That's a good point.
It would be a great point if I didn't already know whatever footage existed was mysteriously wiped.
Yeah,
I already know.
Yeah. Same thing with Jeffrey Epstein. They weren't working, guys. You know what I mean? Like, oops.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
And that's also the thing too, that it just shows how much power they have that they don't really even care to, because the Jeffrey Epstein thing, like this is like, it's of course like the obvious parallel is Jeffrey Epstein, because the Jeffrey Epstein story is the biggest conspiracy theory in which the actual narrative is 1,000 times more fantastical than the official narrative. Like, no one on planet Earth believes this. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't know. But here's what I do know. I do know that Jeffrey Epstein had a roommate who was removed from the cell the day before his suicide. I do know that he hung himself using essentially newspaper. I do know that it was blankets. It were those blankets, but they were like the thinnest blankets imaginable.
I thought you were saying real newspaper. I'm like, oh hell no! I got paper mache. Well, get his ass out of there.
Well, yeah, because like he was a suicide risk, and so when you're a suicide risk, they take away your belts, they take away your shoelaces, they give you like like the material that your social security card is made out of. That's what your blankets are, basically.
Wow,
so you can't really harm yourself. I do know that. I also know that there were 2 guards outside of his cell who both fell asleep, and I know that the cameras in the hallway stopped working. Nobody could believe that. No one on planet Earth thinks that's accurate. And so, I don't know what happened. And that's a good question, Kev. I'm curious to see what they say about the CCTV footage, because your hotel would definitely have to have one. And listen, if the footage comes out and it shows him walking to his car by himself, and although someone may have been in the car, I don't know. So I don't know. That may not even do it. But it's the whole thing is just like a simulacrum of the power of these corporations, and that you can't speak out against them. And if you do, they go one of 2 paths. They buy you off for pennies based on what they did, kind of like what McDonald's did. I don't know if you guys remember this, but when the lady spilled hot coffee on her and everything, and they made you remember this, Goofy Wise? It was a long time.
I didn't hear about that. What?
Yeah, so this is like in the 90s, early 90s or something. So a woman went to McDonald's and she ordered a cup of coffee. It was an old lady, and she spilled the cup of coffee on her lap and got burned, and she sued McDonald's. Now, the narrative for like the next 10 years was, I can't believe this bitch is suing McDonald's. Of course, coffee's hot. When you spill it on you, it's going to burn. That's not McDonald's fault. But then years later, when the actual facts of the case came out, McDonald's was heating their coffee like 3 times hotter than safety standards allied. So when she spilled that coffee, she got 3rd-degree burns on her groin. And it's like, and so McDonald's can do that because the settlement, whatever they paid with her, just saved them a lot of money. It was cheaper to do that than to like actually implement these regulations. And so that's their number one thing, that they'll just buy you out for pennies on the dollar, or they will find a way to get rid of you. That's probably their last option, but it's just a sad mark in how we grant all this power to corporations. And Boeing is just, I actually had no beef. Well, I had beef with Boeing for like defense contracts and shit. But over the past like 2 months, they got like doors flying off their planes. They got planes catching fire in the sky. Like, what is going on there?
I mean, this has been going on. So like, this is also the first time I've like heard of Boeing being seriously a problem. And all of a sudden, it's everywhere. It actually makes me question. The thing that makes me maybe believe that this was not an assassination is that like Boeing's in the news all around for bad reasons right now. Like they just failed like an audit from the FAA, and they say it was like 90 something tests, 89 audits that the FAA conducted.
89 audits.
Boeing failed 33 of the 89.
Wow.
And like that's like a news story that's out there. Like Boeing is getting dragged through the mud. Why bother killing this guy? Like what is the cost benefit analysis?
What did he know?
Exactly. Like how bad is it if like they're like, oh, we're okay with people know we failed a third of our audits, but whatever this guy knew, that was worth committing murder for.
Bro, stock price going.
That
you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's like a Boeing plane.
Yeah.
Hey, that 34th audit he had info on must have been a doozy, man.
Yeah.
It must have been some nightmarish shit. That was
Oh yeah. I do want to add to your point though. It's like I really feel as though it's like even if like we don't know what happened, but the feeling that the people are getting is like these corporations have so much power over us, and there's nothing we can do. You know what I mean? They can literally play in our faces. That's how bad we've lost the class war. People want to talk about class war. We've lost it so bad that they can literally kill people that are snitching on them. And what the fuck can we do about it except complain on the internet? You know what I mean? And like, it just makes me so furious. I'm like, it's like another radicalizing moment. You know what I mean?
It's also like I wouldn't have cared. Like whatever this guy knew, I probably wouldn't have cared. It would have been a news like a week like unless like all of the planes are fucked. Like unless what he was, but like we already know what he was saying. This was a whistleblower retaliation case. Like that's the weird part to me is that like it's not like he was about to come out with some new information.
He already
came out with the information. This was a case suing them for retaliation. So it's like why even bother? It's very weird. But also if he did kill himself, like if it doesn't make any sense that he actually killed himself later because if he did. He's been in this case since 2019. Like this has been his life.
Wow.
And it's like, why would he kill himself now when he's close to the end of it without leaving any sort of note explaining why? Like it doesn't make sense. It makes zero.
I would think that they would have to like threaten him with something, be like, okay, if you don't kill yourself, we're gonna kill. XYZ, your family. They told Martin Luther King to kill himself. They was trying to they had him on the line. You know what I mean?
That's actually, and again, I'm playing way just like fucking detective here. Please, guys, this is just speculation because we don't know what happened. Please don't take this anything as like analysis. But if I'm going to take a guess, I would say that they did something that got to him that caused him to kill himself, and that was not the intention. Like they got some dirt on him and they're like, stop now. But he was like, I'd rather kill myself than risk that coming out. So like that seems like the most reasonable explanation to me.
Yeah.
Because they assassinated him doesn't even quite make sense either.
Yeah.
It's the funniest way this could have played out is if his suicide was entirely unrelated to this at all. Like, that morning, like his wife filed the divorce papers. he couldn't deal with it. That's actually what did it. And it's caused this.
And then he didn't leave a note because he wanted everyone to assume it was Boeing. I think this is actually the reasonable explanation.
Look. If you are planning on ending your life first, seek some help. Call suicide hotline. There's the world is a better place with you in it. Don't go through 100%. With it. However, if you're determined to do this, do it so it just like completely fucks up the life of your enemy. Like do it that way. Like if
you're gonna take one last shot, make sure it's worth it.
Exactly.
Make sports for the working class, damn it, for the proletariat.
like go over to like watch them at work and watch them use a kitchen knife in the work kitchen. Pick it up with some gloves and stab yourself with that. And their fingerprints are on the murder weapon. That's the way to go. If you're gonna do it, make it fun. But once again, don't do it. We don't recommend anything like that at all.
We genuinely say don't do it, even though we're smiling because it's a dark subject and we like to laugh through dark subjects. But that being said, TJ, I always say we think alike. I've said this since I was like a teenager. Like if I ever kill myself, I'm going to use my suicide to be the most complex fuckery of someone I hate possible, to the extent that I'll get so wrapped up in fucking this guy over that I'm going to want to continue to live. Like that's my don't kill yourself plan. Well, it's worked so far.
Yeah, either that, or make this is such a dark topic.
It really is.
Or make your suicide just completely inscrutable. Like, go out into the middle of a desert and surround yourself with, a bag of Gouda cheese, a beekeeper's hat, and some icebreakers gum, and then do it in the middle of that. People are like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Like, you have no clue what the hell is going on.
Somebody was still making a conspiracy. I swear. It'd be like, it's big agriculture, right? That's why he had cheese with him. The milk. It's the problems in the milk, guys.
The bees are striking back.
Yeah.
Bees are striking back. Yeah.
We need to look into Wrigley's and see what they have to do with this. It was like, that's I don't know. It's like, I'm glad we found a way to have some levity on this because it is dark. I am interested to see how this turns out because once again, sure, this could all be wrong. It could just be, a garden variety suicide that's unfortunate and a tragedy. But boy, does this look suspicious. That's all I got to say.
We have a commenter who said the man was about to release the Boeing 9/11 connection. This is a very jokey episode, and all three of us are jokey people, so that's part of it. But it's also because to just look at this and stare it in the face, it's just so dark. Like it's because it's a suicide. That's dark. Like obviously that's terrible, but it's just like, okay, what do you want me to say? Like, yeah. It's probably true that a massive corporation assassinated a whistleblower, and there is nothing we can do about it. That's it. That's the fucking video right there. Like, if you want to just sit there with that, pause the video. Actually, keep the video playing all the way to the end, but just don't listen and just think about that over our laughter and see how long it takes you to start making jokes. Because oh my god, it's depressing to think about.
It is depressing, and I think it speaks to the state in which that that we live under. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's how else but to keep going, but to laugh. You know what I mean? It's got me through it all. You know what I mean?
Goofy Wise, roll credits.
Well, I do have to say one thing. The commenter that said the man was about to release the Boeing 9/11 connection, we have to take this with a grain of salt because I know this individual, Mijo Martinez, and I have it on good authority. I have all the evidence necessary that this man was not only did he have a top secret clearance in the United States military, part of the military industrial complex, but he also worked in air defense. So if anyone would know about this stuff, it'd be this guy. So, he's trying to like kind of deflect from here. So I got an eye on you, Mijo. I got an eye.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching the show today. If you made it this far into the show, you are our favorite viewer. Not anyone else that made it this far. The one that is listening to this right now, you're our favorite. So thank you very much. However, if you haven't liked and subscribed, you just lost that title. So do it to get it back. And then after you do that, make sure to check out our guest because he's pretty cool and he's going to tell you where you can find him.
All right, what's up, guys? Full-time streamer here, TikToker. You can find me anywhere, anytime at Goofy Wise. Come check me out. Talk politics, talk anime, talk shows, talk movies. We're all about it.
Thanks a lot, man. Goofy Wise is a great creator. I've been following him for a while. Fantastic content. I never had any beef with him until just now when he did the Gen Z heart because my hands are too old and decrepit to do that. So it bothers me.
Mine are barely making it there, goddamn.
Yeah, it's like I got this shit going on here.
How do you do
this one? And this, it's like a peace sign, but you just turn it into a heart.
No, it's like fire in my joint. Yeah. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, all three of us. Please check out his content, and we appreciate you guys. Peace out.